right. Well, we should be live on a couple of different platforms tonight. We're back. It's been a while. We're returning to our Shadowrun circa 2054, 2055, but we're using the Champions Now rule set because we love Shadowrun. We don't love Shadowrun system-wise. Anyway, let's go ahead and reintroduce our players and characters and have just a little flashback as to what happened before to get us back to where we should be. Playing Scout tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Steven, and I am playing Scout, the Orc ex-cop. Ever since we got back from our job in the Caribbean, I've been wearing these lovely Hawaiian shirts, and I'm ready for another vacation because this job's not going very well.
I've got to ask, what's the time limit on being X anything and still referring to yourself as that? I mean, you should have moved along by now, Scott. I mean, really, Scout, it's a little disturbing. Just holding on to that being a cop thing.
Well, it's because when we originally started playing Shadowrun, it was powered by the apocalypse, and that was the class ex-cop, and I've just been holding on to that title ever since. So I will forever be an ex-cop.
I think Scout's just holding on to it, period.
He tends to do that.
Seek therapy. Playing Kaylee.
Playing Kaylee will be Jacob with the Defenders of Kobold. Kaylee is a ghoulism-afflicted elf with a penchant for hacking into computer systems, blackmailing music producers, and pretending to be a digital rocker girl.
Pretending? I mean, you're trending. You're like in the top 5.
Well, that's what, again, that's all through the magic of blackmail.
Oh, I see.
The cannibalism, on the other hand, that's
all you.
That's all me.
All you. Yes. Absolutely. I'm playing the face of our organization, the entrepreneur, owner of a soon-to-be chain of bowling alleys. Gantu, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Gantu Praboa, Dwarven Street Samurai, and increasingly getting better with my business acumen. It started out a little rocky, was getting better. Also, surprisingly, I am proud to say I am the conscience of the group, as Scout has apparently abdicated the throne on that role. Also, ex-kindergartner, too, so I figure since we just thrown things out, used to do a very good job of finger painting back in the day, and incidentally, that's how I lost my arm.
Ex-kindergartner makes it sound like you were kicked out.
I was.
Also, how he lost his arm.
Also, set up for murder when he was still in kindergarten.
Those safety scissors
started rough.
Not very safe.
Yeah,
not at all. When they tell you,
you
don't
should see
run
the
with
other
them,
kid.
They mean it.
Yeah, never run with scissors. They still have your face as the poster child in the school system.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely. Playing your newest, slave at the bowling alley because he really doesn't get paid what you do to kind of give him a place to live. Here, sent by his sensei from across the ocean, believing that you will teach him things. It's Masu.
Greetings, honorable people. Even though you cannot see my face, know that I am bowing to you with my hands folded over right in front of my face. Yes, I have been brought here in order to learn things. And what I have learned is mostly a flagrant disregard for human life and dignity pre and post death. It has been shocking, but nonetheless, very informative. I am playing someone who is a spiritualist shaman, and all of my animals are inside of Pokemans. And they fly around and do my bidding.
Yeah. He's actually mastered the art of, old brain. It just went out. Passive aggressiveness. That's what I'm trying to think of. He has mastered the art of passive aggressiveness.
I just wish for us, Master, if you could, I know the GPS is telling you to make a right, but that is going to lead us into Lake Michigan. So therefore, we should continue on straight. Oh, well, fortunately, I brought my flippers with me. Thank you, Master.
Yeah. And the man who never saw a building he didn't like to put on fire, and occasionally never saw a person he didn't also like to put on fire. Ivan, well-educated mage of dubious Russian descent, as played by.
Hey, this is me. I'm Chuck, playing Ivan, and really it is just Chuck playing Chuck with a Russian accent. I light all sorts of things on fire in real life.
Oh yeah. Ivan's well-educated. He went to college
I
to
did.
become the master of sorcery that he is. He passed.
I have a CBA.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
interested. Full of secrets, it seems
I'm
like.
full of many secrets, and some of them, if I reveal, I'll go to jail.
Yeah, there's that. And it was a correspondence course, so
Hey, you
Virtual,
say
so
potato, I say, University of Phoenix, same difference.
exactly.
This is
So,
why Bishop doesn't reveal his secrets.
That's why we're in debt.
Yeah, well, you're not. Gantu's doing just fine. Gantu's flush with cash. So this story arc, using the Champions Now system, we're playing through. I like to play through some classic Shadowrun modules. This one is Super Tuesday, which revolves around the whole election of Dunkelzahn, the dragon president, and we're running up to that right now. We've got the presidential contenders, which the party has kind of incidentally rubbed up against one of them now, saving their friend. Who was languishing with some kind of chemically induced disease. He dropped him off at a hospital with a nice little, hey, he's probably contagious. Treat him that way. This all ends up leading you back to something that happened in a potential hopeful candidate's past, when he was a lawyer that was litigating a case against a drug company who accidentally produced a organic compound to be used on crops that had a really bad effect on those of you with the UGE expression gene. In other words, anyone who is an elf, an orc, a troll, etc. Yeah. So that lawyer of some years ago is now a presidential hopeful. And you have found out that despite the news story saying that there was a particular green club, we'll say, that was involved in things. They were supposedly killed to a man. Well, apparently not. There's a survivor. Seems to have something against our presidential hopeful. We found out that he is seeking to release this compound that he has gotten his hands on at an address that's being held in a very large sports ball complex. I don't actually know if they still play football in the Shadowrun. I mean, yeah, I don't know. They have Urban Brawl, which seems to be like the big sport of the 2050s.
It's a little more
literally
Blood Bowl-esque.
Yeah.
Well, also to be fair, when walking down the street to go pick up, some food is like an epic adventure that you might be burned alive, eaten by a ghoul, or shot by a maniac. Maybe you don't need an excitement like football in your life.
This is true. I mean, this is what happens if you don't get a wage slave job and just a corporate stooge like they want you to be. If you don't do that, well, you might run the risk of being eaten by Kaylee. It just happens.
It does just happen. It's nature.
All right,
maybe they play soccer. I keep hearing it's going to take off one of these days.
They've been saying that since the 1990s.
Incidentally, that's how I lost my leg in kindergarten, playing soccer.
How?
He was doubly expelled. Also, poster boy for that too.
It's a rough school.
Something
Masu, we've learned not to ask questions.
about tying shoelaces, I think, on this one.
Yeah.
All right, so Vogel is the presidential hopeful, and you guys decided to just strong arm it in to look at the stadium before his speech tomorrow. And well, you found out that it has some pretty good policing going on. Knight Durant is there, and to make it short, you guys were caught. But you managed to talk your way out of things and to get temporarily hired onto Knight Errant, which someone pointed out is tricky because the knight in Knight Errant is also a potential candidate. Yeah. So that's where we left it last time, guys. If anyone has anything to add plot point wise, we'll just pick up from where you guys basically agreed to hire on to Knight Errant for a day.
Yes, I do have a
24
couple of points that I'd like to raise. Number
Mhm.
one, we were hired by Clinton Connell, who was a chemist for Vogel on his lawsuit against Hawkshorn Chemicals. We are currently infected, every single one of us. Hopefully, we have been told we're not infectious, but we are infected. Kaylee, sorry, Kaylee. Didn't mean to insult you by mispronouncing your name. You do find that
as an insult.
Yeah, you do find when you eat people that kind of regenerates you. The rest of us don't really have a good method, so in case we do get reinfected and we don't really have anything that's helpful against it, it's not great. Agent 19 is the chemical,
Made
and
by
then
Hawkshorn.
Yes, Hawkshorn Chemicals. There was a Terra First organization that destroyed the Hawkshorn Chemical manufacturing place by basically eco-terrorism. And apparently they were all dead during that eco-terrorism event. But miraculously, someone survived. And they have a... and they are apparently a spiritualist. They have a shaman, at least, running around with them who has the ability to raise toxic dogs. As a note to everyone, toxic dogs do not like to talk. Shockingly, the spirit of toxins.
Not great conversationalists. No.
No.
But I mean, how are you sure though? Did anyone tell them that they were good dogs? I don't think anyone did. I don't think anyone
You
told them they
raise
were
a
good
very Bert, I don't want to say it's a fair point because it's not, but it's a point nonetheless. I
mean, maybe if the best scout were there, he could advocate for you.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Nick did bring up some points. You guys are all currently infected, but you were given kind of a vaccine that basically makes it so that you're not going to be carriers. And you were told that it's mostly just going to burn its way through your system. You'll likely survive.
Yeah, so we were told this by someone who we never bothered to get confirmed or anything like that.
Yep.
We're just taking it for granted.
Yeah, I mean, really, at this stage, you're guinea pigs to find out if something more permanent can be made. Yeah. Let's see. So currently, I think Ivan just has a skin flush. He just looks like he's had a bad sunburn. Kaylee seems to be fine as long as she continues to indulge in her appetites. That is increasing, though. Like, you're getting hungrier more often. Gantu is, if I remember right, just feels like he's completely unaffected. Nothing going on with Gantu, right?
I feel great. Like,
Yeah.
$1 million, which is what my bank account needs to get towards more quickly.
Scout, however, is the big loser in the virus draw here. Scout has been feeling miserable, the worst case of the flu that Scout has ever had. The injection kind of stabilized that. So, like, you're not feeling worse. You're definitely not feeling better yet.
Yeah, just kill me, guys. Just kill me.
No, you are the only one who has anything approaching a moral compass in this group. So therefore, it would be truly sad for me if you perished.
Kaylee, why don't you eat me? And then we can always be a part of each other. And you are what you eat, so you'll gain some morality. There we go.
That was very
Me
romantic.
and my boiler
That's
room.
almost like a proposal. In a sick, twisted sort of
It's
way.
in Scout's will that when he dies, he wants to be fed to Kaylee.
Now, what I don't remember, so if anybody can refresh me on this, did you guys find out the name of the person that survived? I vaguely remember you did.
Yes,
Okay.
I have. So I know that we did because we found out it was the leader, and we had his name, but I did not write it down in my notes, sadly.
So Alan Riv was the name of the person supposedly who survived. He is an elf.
Yep.
Was not
Yeah.
reported to be a shaman at the time.
Yeah. Probably plugged into his old networks and whatnot, and all the rest of that. It's a small group of people who are willing to blow themselves up.
Amazingly, there was like very little legwork in this this story arc so far.
Yeah.
Very, very little.
Hey, yeah, we're I believe in us. So
Right. Yeah. So let's pick up from last time. You guys are still at the stadium. You've been extended this offer.
Oh, we were in the police station. The police escorted us out the back, shredded basically all the paperwork that was involved with
and
us,
let you go.
And it was only the Nighterons who were there, and they had turned off the cameras when the deal got made for us. So we're definitely not being set up to be some kind of patsy for somebody, because I'm sure that they put us on the W-2 forms.
Sacrificial sheep say ba?
Ba? Wait. Oh, no. So.
Yeah. All right. Right. Yes. Thanks for reminding me there, Nick. So yeah, you're just leaving the police station with nothing, no booking happening. No booking. Nothing attached to your real sins or your fake sins.
Master Gantu.
I remember that I struck a deal with them. So I don't remember the specifics of what they wanted us to do. I was kind of high at the time on life.
Don't worry. They are going to give us backing to be there whenever the incident happens, and that we have like flimsy Nighterron.
You've got the windbreakers. You got the Nighterron windbreakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can pass for them, but we don't have any like actual identification that says that we are. So
no. The one guy that extended the offer essentially knows that you are being brought in. As long as he lives, you're fine, right?
Right. Yes. And is honest. Honesty. That's a quality Americans are known for. So, yes, Master Gantu. So we do have some time to kill prior to us having to prevent this incident from happening. Do you have? Are you taking suggestions on what we should do, or?
I mean, a good leader does that thing. They hear what everyone has to say, then they make a decision based on those recommendations, and then takes credit for it. That's what I do. That's how I've gotten where I've gotten. So let's hear them.
You are an inspiration to men. So we do have the Terror First individual, and does anyone here have any contacts with the eco-fascist terrorists? No,
I was I was a cop. I'm an ex-cop.
Oh,
half my contacts became player characters, so I'm kind of out. It's true, it really has.
Yeah,
Scout and Kaylee were both contacts of mine way back in the day.
So to follow on from that, Techno G. So potential avenues. Techno G might have some personal knowledge about who the Johnson was that hired him, or some suspicions, or maybe tagged the guy with some kind of tracker program. He's still in the hospital. He might be available to talk. The other one that I see is Alan Rivia, the elf who is the Terror First. This seems more like the actual trail than anything else, not so much one of the things that they were pulling off. I don't think that they were expecting us to track that helicopter to them, although they were open to the possibility of it. And then their Clinton Connell. He might have some further follow-on information for us, given, hey, he was reasonably tight with Vogel back in the day. Maybe there's some other enemies that are running around that we don't know about. And that is the part and parcel of my suggestions.
You guys basically have 18 hours before Vogel's speech at the Super Bowl.
Amphetamines.
They're so much better now.
Yeah.
They're synthetic adrenaline now.
Yeah. I like the fact that they come in the chewy bear type, so that way I can rip the head off the bear with my teeth and imagine it screaming as it goes down my mouth.
I think the whole
could
crew
see the
needs a
fun
little
in
bit of
that,
therapy.
yes.
I think the next player should be a therapist.
Need some group therapy. Let's all just, sit in a circle and work some shit out.
I think the fact that I have a wanton desire to murder evildoers is the heart of my problems. But anyways, so Master Gantu. Master Ivan, Mistress Kaylee, Scout, anyone else have any other ideas to throw Master Gantu's way?
So if we can pretend that Vogel is evil and we kill him, you would have no problem with that.
No, because it's not. So it's not a matter of I have to believe it. You don't believe things that aren't true. Now,
well, considering we're dealing with politicians here,
then he must be of morally upright character and a superior human being to be a politician.
Let me intercede here for just a second for your tacticals. One thing that you can pretty much rely on is that the Superdome is on lockdown. Like, whoever is doing this isn't there now setting up the ambush currently. Like, you can be fairly certain that is not the case. So likely the person is coming in with the crowds. So let me give you that. Because Knight Errant are really good at their job. They're private security with primarily magical focus. And they're telling you that it's clean. There's no one there at the stadium, at the Superdome.
And then the solution is very easy. If the problem is coming in with the crowd, we just, incinerate.
Classic Ivan.
Yes, but there's going to be 20,000 people coming in, and we don't have the capability to scan them all, sir.
What? To scan them all? What are you talking about?
Well, even your potency, with your massive Russian potency, I do not think you could fireball 20,000 people. Oh, Master Gantu is signaling that the potency is significantly smaller than I insinuated. Sorry.
Is that a dare? Did he just dare you, Ivan?
I think he did. I am going to murder the entire crowd now, and it is entirely your fault.
No, that's not how that works.
Yes, it is.
That comes from you being a sociopath.
We can put a pin in all these ideas right now. Can we make our first priority me getting some Benadryl?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
We got a common goal now. We'll work together towards it.
Okay.
I'm already sleepy.
I know, but this is going to make you even more sleepy, and then you're going to fall asleep and stuff.
What's the daytime Benadryl?
Chew, chew, chew. Open your mouth for the bear amphetamine. Chew, chew, chew.
It's Benadryl.
No amphetamines.
So Jameis has bought some evil.
Nice.
Yes.
That's not going to go to waste.
That is not going to waste.
Wait, is that for us to use?
It sounds like it's for the group.
So the way that I do it is when someone gets bits, you guys get the benefit of the bits, okay? But if they also buy the evil, I also get the benefit of the bits. So you guys can use those bits.
Oh, I thought they were talking about us and the evil.
That's clever. That's clever. I like that.
Let's see. Here's what you can do with bits. Reroll, heal a character, heal all characters.
Nope.
There you go.
Okay, so we need it. Look, step one, we got to get some Daya drill. And then step 2, we going after this elf survivor. Was that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Or are we just gonna? Yeah, I think that's the way.
Okay. So, then I propose the avenue for doing this is Mr. Scaly. You are a wizard with the computers. If you could find where the potential hangout spots are from the various different eco-fascists, I think that would potentially be the avenue of doing this. Now, given that their information is going to be sold on various different platforms, we can purchase their data information and find out what bars that they're hanging out, and then utilizing a networked view of that, cycle in onto the key central node, and then go there and pretend to be fascists of the ecological variety, which shouldn't come to too bad of a strain for the 4 of the 5 actors here.
You know what? That's a
So,
terrible
yeah.
idea. Kaylee, Google that shit and we'll go torture them.
I'll start shit posting on all the image boards.
Yes, that's what I like.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right. So if you want to look up current echo groups, okay. So the one that you guys have been talking about, it doesn't exist anymore. Like supposedly
Right.
all their members were killed, although otherwise. All news stories say that all the members were killed, and basically it never arose from the ashes. Other than that, there are several echo groups. We'll not call them terrorists, but there are several echo groups that are backing very strongly. I'm sorry, I've got to look up the candidate's name. I have don't have my full notes in front of me here. All right. Yeah, so they're strongly backing Vogel and his vice president because they're running on a platform of Save the Earth. Okay, so the echo groups that are out there strongly are backing Vogel. So having any particular group that would want to murder Vogel and his constituents doesn't seem too likely, at least what you're seeing through all the boards. Now, Kaylee, go ahead and give me a hacking test to see if anything in the dark net, we'll call it, or the runner's net tells you anything otherwise.
Alrighty. So I assume an intelligence.
It is, and then if you've got a skill,
Detective work, computer. Well, detective work would be it, pretty much.
yeah, 9 under 13. That works just fine. Okay, so the shadow boards basically echo this. There are actually some echo groups that are actively wanting to agitate for Vogel against some of the other candidates, especially for the technology first candidates and the Warhawk candidates that we have. So, as far as you can tell, and this is even going to underground sources, there are no echo groups that are not supporting Vogel, that actively dislike him.
Could I do like assuming that I have multiple tabs open on my browser, I just want to do like a Control F for the phrase false flag on all of these.
Nice. Yes. Some of the echo groups are false flags for some of the techno first candidates, because they're on the board shit posting saying, yeah, we should stage a demonstration, maybe break some windows, throw some bricks, kind of thing, and they're trying to cause problems to give the echo groups
Agitprop, yeah.
Right. But even so, even with that, none of them are actively calling for anything against Vogel. Vogel seems to have just got that vote down, just locked. Unfortunately, it's a fairly small percentage of the population.
Yeah. So this is likely something that's being done to expose Vogel's hypocrisy, because Vogel probably hung these guys out to dry in order to and allowed them to get killed due to him being nefarious. Assuming, Kaylee's crack about American politicians are not honorable, unlike our Chinese politicians, of course, who are only honorable, Lord and Masters. So, if he's...
by the way, Dr. Rosalind Hernandez is the New Century Party. She was also in the cabinet of the prior presidency that kind of shamedly got ejected from the, yeah. So that's the party that they are false flagging for, the New Century Party.
Which makes
So-
sense.
So this is a personal act of betrayal by Alan. So what could you see if you could get access to any of his money or his money database, or who got the will?
Which
for
person?
him?
Which person?
For Alan Rivy?
He's dead. As
Right.
far as any of the databases show, he's dead.
So where does money go?
And none. He was poor. He had pretty much nothing.
Official off the books.
Yeah.
So
If you want to dig with that, though, now that you have a name, Kaylee, give me another test. This one's a little more difficult.
All
Let's
right.
go ahead and roll it from your sheet, though, and I'll let you. Okay. You pull up some interesting facts. You pull up a stray, kind of like a rumor. And the sources, you don't feel strongly that it's anything more than a rumor, but you do pick up a rumor saying that Riv lived, that he was badly scarred by chemicals, like so much so that like his body was kind of like the Two-Face thing, right? Where half of his face was very much disfigured, half his body was disfigured. So there's kind of like an underground legend that says that he did survive, just in a completely, messed up way. Some people even claim that their particular therapist, that's coming up a lot tonight, that Riv was undergoing therapy for his excessive damage and how it just marred his psychology. But again, the source is not really reputable, and it's just one thread that you're able to track down about it. Like, you can't find anything to confirm that this is true.
okay, did he have any particular loved ones or groups that he might turn to in case of trauma that would hide?
Apparently, that that group was like his tribe, his family. Like, there's nothing in the record showing. Like, even mother and father were human. He was, GUE made him an elf at birth, but his parents were human, and he basically disassociated with them, estranged from them long ago in his teens. No brothers, no sisters. The organization was his family.
Not a lot to go on there, if anything.
No, but this does shriek out the embittered act of someone who has an object of veneration that turns into an object of hatred. So, if none of his former allies would be likely to help him, then maybe some of his former enemies. So,
Yeah, Vogel was a lawyer, so now I want to see if he's done any other high-profile cases where basically whatever payment that he got out of the court was exorbitant.
So what I'm getting from this scene is that Kaylee, with Mausu over her shoulders, pointing at the screen, are kind of doing some legwork, which is good. What are the rest of you guys doing, and where are you doing this? Have you gone back to the bowling alley?
That's perfectly fine place of operations, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where's Kaylee working on this?
Likely the boiler room if it is at the bowling alley.
All right, so that's where Scout would be, and he would be telling Kaylee, "You can do this. You've never let us down before. I know you got this. Just keep trying. I know there are some hiccups. Do you want me to look at it?"
No, I just think that this pipe over here, the one with the steam rolling out, it looks a little wobbly. If you could just grab hold of that and straighten it
And
out.
Kaylee now has two people working over her shoulders, one behind each shoulder. Gantu, what would you be doing during this downtime? Again, 18 hours and counting, and you guys haven't been asleep yet.
I would say, I don't know if we've done this already, but I think Gantu would be trying to get a better understanding, because like the location was never changed, right? Like they're still going to have
It's still
like
at the
the
Superdome.
event.
Yep. Vogel
Right.
has adamantly said that he will not be cowed by any.
So I think Gantu, I mean, Gantu can't help with some of the stuff that you guys are doing. So I think Gantu would probably just spend time poring over whatever kind of schematics, layout, anything like that to try to get an idea. I know we already blew up like the I think it was like the fire suppression system,
Yep.
like other means of dispersal, like other things, like other ways, and any sort of like security analysis or something like that
very
try to
nice.
get an idea of entry
I tell you
points.
what, you're okay. So you have gotten the blueprints, which are readily available.
Yeah.
And you're looking through everything. Like, where would I place something?
Right.
Make me an intelligence check, and if you have any skills for tactician, anything that might fit, you may or may not have bought skills. Like, skills are pretty simplistic.
No, I didn't. I just some martial stuff. I didn't get anything like that. So
go ahead and make that roll for me. And Kaylee, I want you to make a new roll for intelligence on Vogel.
All right. It's more detective work. Hey, there we go.
All right. I actually need to see, in this case, I was just looking for your roll. I need to see how many. I need to look at the actual roll. Give me a second. 2, 6, and 3. So 2 3 points of. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Gantu, have you made that roll, and how did you do?
10 versus 11.
Okay. So looking at things, since it's an open air stadium, there's not a lot in the way of like air circulation through there. Like it's open air. They really don't need it. But as you're looking through this, you noted the fire suppression system, but you guys just basically destroyed that. They're not going to be able
It
to
ain't
fix
working
that.
anymore.
Yeah, which poses an interesting question if they can actually hold it there because it's not working. But politicians can overrule things. There is, however, there's a gantry system. So like the Superdome's made so that at one time, not currently because it doesn't work anymore, used to have this gantry where it could close. It did have like this dome that would cover it. The gantry system is still up there. And so if you're talking about like air dispersal, that is the highest point of the Superdome, is that gantry that's still up there. And it kind of crisscrosses the whole above all the seatings, above the field itself.
Yeah. I guess the other question I would think is what kind of like air traffic control is there over top of like an event or location such as this? If it is open air.
Yep. So blimps are a thing in 2054, 2055. So there's
and hang gliders.
Yeah, there's gonna be cameras up there and blimps kind of filming the whole thing. Security, no doubt Vogel is going to have some drones up there as well. I mean, they're going to be drones. There are going to be a lot of drones. Independent networks, independent news reporters are all going to have drones flying around. That's a certainty.
Okay. And do we have access to the place now that we're on night around side, or
you don't know?
Still?
As Masu pointed out, there's kind of just one person on the night around staff that's kind of knows this.
Okay.
So you're not sure what he's done on his end to make you more legitimate or not. Okay. You haven't tried it yet.
I mean, Gantu would float the idea to specifically Ivan and Scout, probably, since the other two are doing all the research and whatnot. Trying to get
research too.
Okay.
Just Ivan.
Eat your Benadryl, or whatever it is I gave you. It's actually Flintstones vitamins, but whatever. Anyhow, like we could go see if we can get in and kind of do a more thorough walkthrough of the place if we have access, and specifically take a look at this gantry systems, see if anything if anyone's pre-gamed up there, or what other kind of firsthand security liabilities there might be.
It sounds good to me. Let's do the thing.
Okay. So you guys are looking over the blueprints. Kaylee, you find 3 interesting news articles on Vogel, and this is on the shadow boards. The normal news networks are just the normal blah, 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 lawyer, Echo First sort of thing, Gaia First sort of thing. He's very big on preserving what ecology we have left. But there's 3 things that you find digging into his past. He has a background in environmental law. Sky high reputation for bringing his opponents down at the negotiation table. People on the ShadowNet swear it's because he hires Shadowrunners to dig that dirt. Okay. Other corporations has accused any corporation accused of environmental violations. News on the ShadowNet's basically saying that he has all kinds of dirt, unlike any corporation that's ever done anything that was illegal, immoral, affecting, the earth. He's got stuff that he can use as leverage. And there are Shadowrunners on the boards attesting to the fact that, yeah, we did this run. We got this pay data for him. We know Vogel has it. Okay. The bad thing that happens. You attract attention. Looking into Vogel, a presidential hopeful's background has gotten you some. There's some eyes on you. So this is in Shadowrun. You're in a virtual space. So like Kaylee is envisioning whatever her avatar is. You're looking through these old style filing cabinets as you are. This is the virtual representation, right? What does Kaylee look like virtually, by the way?
She basically looks like her. She looks like her Tectonics punk rocker self, except like wearing a very cheap ninja costume.
Nice. Okay. So the thing that happens is as you're going through the files and you pull out this file on Vogel and you're going through this information, a pet door on, again, this is virtual space, but a pet door on one of these doors kind of swings open and this 3-headed dog walks in. So for the player of Kaylee, this is a virtualization of basically protection software. So it looks like a dog to you, but it's software, it's code that's running. It's sniffing in the air, probably trying to determine if you're supposed to be here or not. Unfortunately, the next thing that happens is you notice that there's a leash attached to the dog. And as the door opens, another net runner walks in. This is someone else who's projected here. This is not a program. So he's got an attack dog program. Notices that you're going through files that you shouldn't be. So we're going to have a little combat scene here.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yes, Jameis. How could something possibly have gone wrong while Kaylee is hacking? I don't know. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. What is even as you're net running, we still use your speed. So what is your speed?
1.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It has been weeks since we did this, so I have to reference my books, my speed chart. Okay. So the program itself has a speed of 3. The programmer, however, also has a speed of 1. So the program is going to go first. The attack dog attacks. It's an attack vector program. It's going to go against your ego. Okay. What is your ego?
13.
Okay, 13. Okay, so the formula, just so since it's been a while, is you need to make 11 plus your combat value, in which case it's your intelligence, which is what?
13.
Actually, it's your ego. I'm sorry. What is your ego?
13.
13. So that gives you a 24 minus their value, which in case is 13. So I'm going to roll this. Roll 3d6. Oops. I keep trying to roll in the chat. I do this so often. Okay. Let me find my window for... There it is. Okay. So it's doing the attacking. So its base is 11 or less. It has a 13 skill, which makes this a 24. You said you have a 13 ego?
That's right.
So it needs 11 or less, which it hits. Okay.
Yep.
So now it's going to do some damage. All right. So first of all is the stun damage. Do you have any kind of programs that give you protection? Any kind of armor or shield? If you have ego armor, if you've got an ego
No.
defense? You don't have any kind of defense for ego?
I've got powers, but that's about it. But
Okay. Do any of your powers give you any kind of defense?
let me look up.
Or if you bought mental defense too, that's the other thing. Look at
No, I didn't. No, I
Okay.
didn't purchase any defenses.
Okay, so it does 17 points of knockout. What is your stun rating?
Ooh, 10.
Right. All right. So this is actually fairly simple. It disrupts your neurology, which causes you to be ejected from the net, which also causes dump shock. So you're going to end up taking so if you look at the dice, I rolled a 4, 2, 6, and 5. For every 6, that's 2 points of physical damage. Ones are nothing, and everything else is 1 point. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5 points of body. So Kaylee is just very forcefully ejected from the net. You guys smell burning flesh as the trodes, or if you've got a link around that area, your flesh burns a little bit, and you've taken 5 points of body.
I will go ahead and cast regeneration on Kaylee.
Okay.
As I go.
How much body does Kaylee have?
Right now, 2.
Well, that's
After
fine.
the damage, yeah. So
You're fine.
Yep.
So Kaylee was knocked out from this, unconscious. But yeah, if you cast that, we don't have to worry about how much you heal. It was just a scene, right?
Okay.
So you've got plenty of time to heal her and get her back up to snuff again.
Now,
But there's someone guarding. It may just be all presidential hopefuls. It may just be Vogel. You didn't stick around long enough to find out before you were dumped out.
yeah.
Now, as a question, given she is infected with, being a ghoul, does regeneration work on ghouls?
Yeah, ghouls are
Okay.
still alive. And actually, she's not a full ghoul. Her turning into a ghoul has been halted by certain chemicals. She's not a full ghoul. She hasn't
Oh
gone.
no,
full ghoul.
it's all good. I don't
Yeah.
need to know her specifics.
Yeah.
She hasn't shared them with me, and that doesn't hurt whatsoever.
She's in that stage of ghoulism where she just looks like a hot goth. I mean, that's just how it is because she's
With no eyes.
with no eyes. She is blind. Yeah.
Be healed, I will say.
Yes. Hey, Scout. I mean, Masu is being very forward with Kaylee. I mean, he's putting his hands on her and everything.
I'm not the jealous type. If Kaylee wants to shop around, she can. But I know that she's going to go for the better man in the long run.
Oh, she's gonna go with me. That's awful sweet of you.
Right? Yeah, that
Thank
hurt
you.
a lot. That hurt a lot, Kaylee. But yeah, you're okay again after a few.
Very sweet of the both of you. I could just eat you both up.
Please
All right.
don't.
So the next problem,
I wouldn't
Kaylee,
mind.
that you may have been traced to your current location. That's the next problem.
Yeah, that is an issue. So yeah, I'll have to do some security work to make sure my my stuff is in order, I suppose.
Okay. So what's the reaction to everyone? Kaylee has
Oh,
just been burned out of the net.
yeah, no.
Tells you that you might be compromised. Maybe.
Getting horrifically burned is part and parcel of the business. I mean, I have suffered horrific wounds since coming to America. It is no surprising that the internet also attacks you.
Yes, well, that is true. I'll try to contact Marcy and see if she can't bolster our immediate security to make sure we're not getting pinged by a presidential hopeful's security system.
And let's remind folks, who is that? Or what is
Marcy would be an artificial intelligence system that that hired us in order to rescue her artificially intelligent sister program,
Oh no.
and who has actually since hijacked the servers of our bowling alley,
Oh.
unbeknownst to everyone but me.
Oh no.
I was gonna say I didn't know that. I don't think Andrew knew that.
No, Ganty did not know that. So, Kaylee, yeah, you put in a little query. Not only does the AI owe you as a group a favor, since you haven't ratted her out, Kaylee, you're owed special favors as well. AI tells you that your dump happened too fast. Like they should have tried to trace you before they dumped you out of the system. You're safe.
Well, that's good to know. Well, Vogel has no shortage of enemies. I suppose I could try to see if any of them are still financially capable of financing a terror attack.
Well, the people that I'm particularly concerned about is who's running Hartshorn Chemicals these days.
Doesn't
His
exist
name
anymore
would
on the
be
books.
on
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. So
not on the books, but the CEO must still be out there somewhere.
Yeah. So the people
With a net worth.
Exactly. And there's given the deep betrayal that's happened there. Maybe Flole adieu. I can't even say that. Never mind. I can't speak French. I don't even know why I pretended like I could.
Okay. Yeah, so your jacks are still mildly irritated from the burning, but do you want to jack back in and see if you can find something out about what happened to Hawkshorn?
Sure. And when I do, I will be sure to cast invisibility beforehand.
Nice. Okay, so the public nets are pretty simple about it. Hawkshorn, because of the lawsuit that Vogel filed, they were dissolved as a company. All their assets were basically taken up in bankruptcy court because of all the fines, penalties, and everything else Vogel was able to prove. They had massive environmental lawsuits against them and personal lawsuits from those people that were affected. They were sued out of existence. No money left. However, yes, the CEO still exists. He lives in a very nice retirement home in the Caribbean League. And he now is like a controlling interest in a company that makes like the most innocuous chemicals that you find in every stuffer shack everywhere that helps you to keep ants and fleas and other mites away from your home. They developed basically an insecticide that was milder and was approved.
Oh. I wonder if these two things might be related. Or
Yeah,
if
like you guys know the brand, we'll just Bug Be Gone or something. It is like it's a commercial national brand. You can find their stuff in every convenience store everywhere.
Okay.
How well are they doing financially? Well, I mean, it's got to be good. So
Yeah.
The CEO is retired. He's still
he's
controlling shares, but he's no longer working for the company. He's just raking the money in.
Yeah.
Hand over fist.
So nothing. I doubt he'd have anything personal then against Vogel.
Well, no. But what I would reckon is that he knows the people who to get Alan in contact with in order to run up this chemical back to life. He has access to all the areas to buy the products that they need to manufacture it. I mean,
we need to find out where the damn chemical came. We need to contact Techno-G.
Let the GM interject a little bit because it has been a while. You're assuming that Riv or someone else has had to manufacture the chemical. They didn't. The warehouse that you raided, the Hawkshorn warehouse, had the chemical there. There were drums of the chemical still on the Hawkshorn premises.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yep. Because
I think we saw somebody who was infected by it across the street from where we were
sued
at.
out of existence. The whole, everything just got boarded up. The properties never sold because there were environmental concerns, and it just basically sat there. Nobody cleaned it up. Nobody sold it off.
Well, all right. Well, that's a hell of a thing. Yep. Nope. All right.
I think I've exhausted my willingness to burn for information.
Understandable.
All this talk of pesticides has gone too a little itchy.
All right, get out of my boiler room. I need a snack.
I will leave
We'll say
expeditiously.
this legwork took you guys a couple hours, so we're 16 hours counting down. Wow, you really do look like a disembodied head there, Chuck.
I
With
left
the
my
microphone.
body in my other bag.
It's kind of sexy. I didn't think this is awakening something in me.
Kind of hot, a
Yeah.
little bit hot. Yeah, shows off the beard more.
Mhm,
Even your
mhm.
feet? Your feet gone too? It's like your
Yeah,
best
pop your feet up there. Let's see them with the green screen.
No.
Let's see what they look like when you put them together like this.
Oh no, Chuck's gonna be on wiki feet.
It's not the
Save-
first time my feet have been on
Save some
stream.
for the OnlyFans. Come on.
Yeah, I
It's on
know.
the internet once. It's
strictly
there
for the
That
forever.
cost me
Yeah,
like
right.
$40.
Yeah, the OnlyFans is just nothing but the feet floating in open air.
I just use green masking tape on the rest of my body except for my feet.
Yeah.
Cantu and I going to the place to do the thing.
I mean, I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
I'd go too if you
Wait.
sent me a text.
Oh yeah, I would have invited a scout while the others were doing it. I just don't see what we can provide in terms of this whole like research legwork hack stuff. And a lot of that's just guessing anyway. We do know one place that this person is gonna be, and we'll round what time. So like, I don't know, the most we can shore up the defenses probably is at least a safety net to fall back on in case the research don't turn up something.
The research has gone
Well,
in a circular
that's fair.
fashion.
While
down
you
the
guys are
drain.
doing all the research, you break up. You go back to the Superdome site. There is a police cordon around, like a normal city police, and of course they're telling you, look, nobody goes in. Do you wear the dusters or the windbreakers?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, then if you wear the windbreakers, they don't ask for ID. When they see the windbreakers, they let you through their cordon. But now you're in Knight Errant's area, right? So as soon as you walk up, you are approached. They see your windbreakers. They ask for identification.
Well, I'll
Put your-
provide it.
Put your thumb here, sir.
Okay, the real one or the fake one? Which one you want?
The real one,
Wait.
sir.
The real one? This one right here? Okay, there you go.
There's a blip. And he's like, he looks at it for a moment, looks at you, looks like he's comparing. It's like, yeah, all right. It does the same to Scout and Ivan as well. You guys are apparently all in the system.
Nice.
Oh, hey, new shift just got on. I don't know if you're Daryl's crew or not, but nothing's changed. There was a scare, a few hours ago. The sprinkler system's still down. We got a company that swears they can get it fixed in 8 hours, so that's going to happen. We haven't vetted those folks yet. They haven't arrived yet. But otherwise, the situation hasn't really changed. Go ahead and get with Daryl if you're on the night crew. He points out Daryl in the back. Daryl is in front of a setup screen, and he's talking to people that way, which means he doesn't have trodes. He's doing it the old-fashioned way with screens. He seems to be able to set up a little command center.
All right. Question, by the way, do you got a company name that you're setting up for that thing? For the repairs. I know you said you haven't vet them, but just so we know in case they show up.
A electrical.
Okay. All right, that's a lot of A's. Was that 4? As he writes it
4.
down.
Yeah,
4 A's.
it's a quad A electrical.
You just picked the first one in the phone book, didn't you? That's what you did.
I mean, they had the nice. I mean, their site looked really good, and they had an 8-hour turnaround. Nobody else wanted to get up and do work.
Gotcha. Hey, do you have like personnel files on like everyone who's going to be on security? Like,
No, of course. Yeah.
Okay. No red flags or nothing. Nothing.
Well, other than your group, we just got you down as floating, and
Yeah. Anybody else that's floating, or anybody else who might be like first job, or first
Oh well,
assignment?
Daryl,
Like
he's
that?
the cruise chief over there. He's not really assigned a particular group or not. He's just assigned to be here or now to do coordination. That was actually a last minute change in the schedule. Yeah, he's been with Nidoron for the last 15 years. He's a good guy.
Why?
I've had some beers with him.
Yeah.
He's fair as long as you
Okay.
do your job. You're efficient and
Now,
all.
who made that change? You said it was the last minute change.
Yeah, it looks like the shift leader that was supposed to be on got injured in some kind of fire that happened a few hours ago.
Oh, okay. Shift leader. You got a name for that shift leader?
Yeah, Debbie Snacks.
Debbie Snacks.
Okay,
Okay, I think
she
I heard that one
prefers to be
before.
called Deborah. All right, so I mean, hey, we all signed the card. I mean, she's in the hospital, 3rd-degree
Okay.
burns. Some asshole mage threw a fireball. I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, Deborah's got a family, It's bad. It's bad.
That's just a shame. Who would do something like that? I mean,
Terrible,
who would do
terrible
something like
news.
that?
I don't know what kind of monster would do such a thing.
You used the right word there. A monster would, indeed. Mm-hmm. Well, you've been very helpful. Thank you.
Sure. Hey, don't forget to sign Deborah's card.
Oh, yeah, sure. Where is it?
It's digital, of course. It's like right here.
Okay. Gantu would like to turn around and I want to think about what I want to say. Can I just hang on to this for a second? I just want to it takes me a while.
Actually, you all need pads anyway. You got terminals? Anybody? No. Okay, you all need pads. I mean, they give you issued, ruggedized pads. Basically, it's already.
I start finding more RAM for it.
It's already plugged into the Nidoron network, so like you can see all the cameras that they've set up. By the way, gone to since you're looking for it. No cameras in the gantry system.
That's peculiar. That's peculiar indeed. All right. I also just wanted to take a second to kind of take down the names, at least like commit them to memory of the people that are signing this card. Just so if we run,
Yeah. Okay.
Just want to take a moment to do that.
So I haven't signed it. Sorry, I burned you.
I don't know who did that. It's crazy.
Or maybe Ivan wouldn't be sorry. He just signs it. I burned you.
Oh my gosh.
Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
Ivan.
All right. You're on premises. There's maybe 24 folks around, 2 teams, 12 people. They're basically doing a perimeter, looking at your pads. They got cameras just about everywhere. And if you're looking at Gantu, like, why didn't they put cameras up in the gantry system? Interference. Apparently, the whole winching system, everything that's up there, really interferes with their cameras, and they can't get good reception on the cameras up there.
Yeah, it's convenient. Okay. How now? This is not something Gantu would necessarily know. He's not the most technologically proficient. Better than Scout, but I mean, that's not really saying anything. But how is it like this specific winching system? Is there something about like the system that would cause it? Like, does this seem like something that would be common knowledge that someone can kind of with technical acumen could perhaps derive a logical conclusion? Or is this something like you need to be? That's Daryl. Yeah. Daryl might know.
All right. Oh yeah, Daryl tells you, yeah, we're working on it. We have to use hard lines. We just didn't have any cameras on us that weren't net connected. We're just going to run hard lines. They'll be in place before Vogel gets here. No worries. We've got a crew up there now, making sure everything is clean. Actually, as he's looking through his tablet, it's mirroring on your tablets, and he shows you, like, yeah, we're looks like every 20 minutes there's a crew that goes by, checks out the gantry system.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're just gonna go take a look around. I think.
Have at it.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks at he's pulling up your crew on his tablet. It's like, huh. All right. Well,
yeah, we're floaters.
Yeah. It's you got access. Go for it.
Okay.
He points you over. It's like, so there's an elevator system that sort of works. It's slow. It uses old fangled like pulley system. It's really bizarre. Over there, and stairways 4 different places. He kind of points out the 4 places where you can get into a stair system.
Okay.
They're all labeled maintenance, hatches. Just look at the ceilings. You can't miss them. Black and yellow paint, maintenance. You'll see them.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Want to use the elevator? You want to go use one of the maintenance shafts?
Absolutely elevator.
Yeah, Scout's dragon. This is the
I
worst
think,
you've ever felt for this long, Scout. Bullet shots felt worse or didn't feel as bad.
You go ahead and take the elevator there, Scout. I'm going to go ahead and stretch the legs out a bit, take one of these shafts.
Is there more than one shaft up, or
There's
is
4.
it just
There's
there's
4 maintenance
I
shafts.
will
Full
take
shaft.
another shaft as well. We'll
You
make
see
sure we
Scout
have
like go in the
good
elevator and
coverage
just like
on the
immediately
shafts.
sit down.
Okay. What you notice, Scout, by the way, is this elevator is actually it serves 2 purposes. One, the gantry lift system is set up so that old style video recorders, like this was meant as a floating stand for them to get a better shot of what was going on in the field. Right? It hasn't been used in a while because recording technology has changed since this was built. That's part one. It does go really slowly. Like you can hear the chain and pulley system that's slowly yanking this thing up. It kind of stops suddenly and then grinds as it continues to go up some. It hasn't been in use in a while, but it still sort of works. It's just doing you no favors for that just sudden stopping with how you're feeling. But you do
I'm in no
eventually.
rush. It's fine.
Yep. You get all the way up to the gantry platform. There's security bars, kind of like so that people don't just pitch off the edge up here. Gives you if you had a camera, it gives you a great view of the field below. It would be great for an overhead shot of a game that was being taken place.
Is there no camera on this pad he just gave me?
Yeah. I mean, you have access to all the video cameras on his pad.
Okay, I'll try taking a picture, but I probably have my
Oh,
thumb
I see.
over
You
the
want?
camera.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, you can bring up the camera app.
There's a finger in every angle, no matter
Of
what.
course, you're holding it and your fingers right over the camera lens. Gantu and Ivan, maybe opposite stairwells. So they're both located near the restrooms in a little alcove that's like a maintenance closet. Okay, so the closet itself has mag locks on them, so they do have security to get in. Your pads have all the mag lock codes. Once you step in, you have access to the fire control system. You have access to the speaker. What would you call it? So to
The PA?
Yeah, the PA system. And then above you is a trap door, yellow and black painted. It's got a pulley on it that says gantry. You pull that down and you've got this stairwell that goes up with this kind of circular cage around it so you don't fall to your death while you're climbing.
Up I go.
Okay. You guys come up about the same time. You see each other across. Well, actually, you don't because the Superdome is really long. So you both come up. You can tell on your tablets that you've both arrived up there. You're taking a look around. There's lots of there are lots of great places to hide up here. So the whole system has got a lot of pipes and bars that, someone that was good at climbing could really get up high, could move around basically from one end of the stadium to the other without having anything impeding them. There's catwalks that crisscross the various. It basically breaks the Superdome into quarters, four sections that it crosses. It bisects 4 sections, and then it's got a middle that goes all the way from one end to the other. And you can see the dome structure that's still here but doesn't work anymore, so the dome doesn't close anymore, but it's still here. There are a lot of places where a person could hide. It's not well lit. Of course, it's night now. You've got some emergency red lights on here, but it's not really meant to be lit up, at least not anymore.
Start searching.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so this is going to take a few hours. While you guys, it's a big system up here. You'll join Scout. All 3 of you are searching. Why don't all 3 of you give me a test? We will do. Let's see. Nick, what passes for perception in this? I forget.
I don't think there is any.
No, there is. Hold on a sec. Let me look it up real quick.
It might be a skill.
And there's a skill that helps. Actually, just go ahead and everybody make me intelligence checks because, like, you're doing kind of a grid search. You guys, you're semi-professional. You've done this sort of thing before.
I'm good.
Gone to Scout? How'd you?
Yes.
It's
9
roll
versus
under,
11.
right? So I'm good.
It's roll
Yeah,
under.
roll under. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You spend your time going back and forth. You don't see any new installation. You don't see like anybody's little nest that they've set up and like, cans of urine or whatever. No nests up here that anyone's set up. No, the maintenance. There is a maintenance log that says that the owners of the Superdome do send people up here on a monthly basis just to make sure that nothing's a hazard, but it hasn't been used in like the last 10 years. So no one's got a nest up here. The thing that you all come to the conclusion of that you're a little that kind of the 4 stairwells that go up here are right next to the restrooms, all 4 of them. Like anyone that could break through to get into that little alcove where that mag lock is could access these stairwells.
Okay.
Well, there's 4 stairwells. There's 1, 2, 3, 5 of us now. I mean, we could cover it all during live, but
It doesn't seem, I mean, if they come with any force, it would be whatever they have on one. We could.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like, would they come in force or would they kind of try to keep this on the down low? Sneaky.
Yeah, that is a good point. So,
Could we put any kind of like, again, Gantu don't know, but also Jeff doesn't know. Any sort of like, I know we got video cameras and such like that, and they said they're going to put some hard lines up here and it'll be ready to go. Is there any sort of monitoring of these mag locks, like remote monitoring? Like
Absolutely. So
Okay.
you pick it up on your tablets, you can see like every time that these locks have been opened and closed is logged.
Okay. And like is like a frequent occurrence? I mean, obviously, I think people are
Every
coming and
20
going.
minutes. Every
Yeah.
20 minutes, all 4 of them have been accessed by the Night Errant crews that have been checking the place out.
Okay. All right. And did we sweep the bathrooms for anything? Like just in case they were doing anything? Like
The
any
logs
sort of-
say they are swept on the same frequency, but you guys have not looked.
Okay. I think we just for the sake of it.
Yeah. You're completely disgusted because even with the presidential hopeful coming in, bathrooms are never clean in stadiums.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And they look like they pre-trashed them just, to get that out of the way.
Is it the trough? Like you got the trough going on here?
It's not individual urinals. It's just a trough.
I love a trough.
Running
That's
water.
great.
I am
You got the
Cooperative
old
operation.
you got old nacho baskets and newspapers on the
Yeah.
floor to catch the spray back.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
be
you gotta
fair,
stuff up.
it doesn't
Yeah.
look like the stadium's cleaning crew left it this way. It looks like all the Nidoran agents that have been swarming the place because you see like empty coffee cups everywhere. They've just destroyed the place while they've been stationed here.
Yeah. I think Gantu makes a mental note about the lack of cleanliness of the stadium staff and is going to make a business pitch after this is all said and done about
For your
possibly
cleaning
getting
business.
regular. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, around this time, Kaylee and Masu, you guys were left to do some digging around. Kaylee, you found what you could find. I mean, really, there's not anything else unless you want to explore another avenue, but you dug up what you could dug up. There's just, it looks like Hawkshorn's a dead end. Yes, the CEO is still alive, but doesn't have any hands-on with the company anymore.
Sir not appearing in this film.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Vogel has a shady background, especially
Yeah.
since he had the knowledge about how to hire Shadowrunners, and it regularly uses them.
Yeah, the betrayal scenario makes a lot of good sense. Or they've done what they needed to do, and I'm going to pull the plug on it. And therefore, I really don't care what happens to my hired guns at that point.
Sure.
So
Gantu, Scout, and Ivan have been gone for a couple hours at this point. Actually, probably 3 hours. It takes a while to crisscross that whole gantry system. And you guys are done with. You ran through everything you can think of for legwork, and unless either one of you has something else you want to try, but pretty much everything ends with just nothing really coming up.
Yeah. So the only thing that I do want you to trick in, this is like this outside of an outside, is the guy who said the forum post that said, "Hey, Alan lives."
Yeah.
Could you trace that guy down just to see whether or not it's a sock puppet for him?
Kaylee, you can hire him. He's on the shadow boards. Like, he's a runner.
Oh.
You could hire some of his time if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Sure, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we could ask him how the hell he found that information out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
let's see if he knows anything about where that fella is these days and where one might hire him.
So the shadow boards basically have a dead drop box that's, a string of 128 characters to send, anonymous mail back and forth. You can buy half hour of his time for 200 credits.
Yeah.
For consulting.
Naturally. That sounds like a good idea.
So he agrees to meet you in a virtual space.
Excellent.
Okay, which of
I
course is a
will
bar.
appear in my ninja guise.
All right, which is of course a bar. It's a virtual hangout. He wants to be somewhere public, just in case. It's got a very, it's a very film nostalgia. It's Sam's place on the outside. Looks like outside the window, you're in kind of a hot, dry climate out there, and it's all people are walking around with red fezzes. There's a big fat guy in the corner with kind of a leather fly swatter, sitting there talking to a well-dressed man in a white suit. There's some piano playing in the background. Oh, you bought my time. What handle would you have used?
This would be my Aztec Sucks handle.
You bought a half hour of my time. Aztec Suck. Bad run. That you don't. Don't
let's
worry
just
about
say
it.
I need. Yeah. I just need somebody who can handle somebody with a bit of a rough. Somebody who's good at handling rough people, and I have just the guy in mind, but I don't know where to find him.
Okay. I'm just a doc. I ran with. My last time I was on a run was a couple of years ago. I was the guy that kept everybody running. I work on cyber, I work on flesh, do a little bit of everything. So I don't know that I'm the right person. I assume you did some research before you threw down good cred.
I did, and you're kind of the only lead I got at this point. Maybe you can point me towards somebody a bit more tangible in that respect, but for now, I just really need to know as much info as I can get about locating and hiring Alan Riv.
Oh yeah, like the surprise is clear on his avatar's face. It's like, oh wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. He's in the biz. Wow, man. Look, if I were you, find anyone else. Like if he's in the biz. No, look. Let me do you a solid. I've got some contacts I can put you. I can give you some pan numbers for. They do good work. They're a lot more steady than this guy. That guy's a nut job. I can't believe he's doing runs.
I need a nut job. This
boy.
is a very particular kind of situation that needs a chaotic element.
All right, make me an ego test.
All right.
Oh, are you? I forget what they call it in Shadowrun, but Masu can come along as an observer. He doesn't have an avatar. He can just kind of see and hear what's going on. You can or can't do that. Up to you. Whatever you want to do.
So, Kaylee, am I riding? Are we doing
Oh,
ride
sure.
along?
Yeah.
I can just
Sure,
be like,
I'll do
he's
a
fine.
ride along.
I assume you don't have trodes, so you put on the glasses
no.
and helmet. Yeah, so that you're a passive observer to this Masu.
Okay.
All
Can I?
right, so You can talk to Kaylee, but only Kaylee. So 414. So you did. That's 2 points. That's good enough. This guy is. He's like, look, I'm retired from the biz. The last time I saw Riv, he was burned bad, like really bad chemical burns. All I did, I resuscitated him. We patched him together with enough stim patches, enough to keep him alive, and we dropped him at a dock we knew. I mean, that's the last I saw of Riv. I have no idea how to get in contact with this guy. But, I mean, he was a piece of work. I knew him casually as a contact. That's how he knew to come to me to, I guess, save his life. He was with this terrorist organization, this real echo. I don't remember the name of the organization. I remember the newspaper said like they were all killed. I guess that's how he got injured. But he was kind of like almost like their spokesman, I guess. Like he would recruit for their group. And his speeches were always really just out there. I mean, all preaching violence against people that abuse Gaia, preaching violence against corporations that made really anything that affected the environment. And he was unabashed about doing physical, like really mix it up sort of violence to these people. He was unhinged before the accident. I can't imagine, like it was bad. It was now he takes a virtual drink or something. Look, I've worked on a lot of folks. I've worked on folks that come into me with holding their guts in with a hand. I came in with a guy who actually was nearly beheaded. He had enough cyber in him that he got to me. I have no idea how. I've seen some really bad cases. I've never seen anything as bad as how Riv showed up to me. I mean, it would have been a blessing just to kill him. It really would have, but, oath and all.
You say you dropped him off at somebody else. Could you point me in that guy's direction, maybe?
Well, I mean, I could. He died last year. It's home invasion.
Huh.
Yeah, he didn't live in a great neighborhood. I mean, things like that happen. People probably thought ex-Doc had some money stashed somewhere,
Yeah, I can see that. What you wouldn't happen to have info on that guy, though, would you? That unfortunately deceased fella?
Yeah, I mean, he paid for my time, and I don't feel like really giving you enough for your cred. So, yeah, I mean, here, he flips through, like he literally opens up like a what are they called?
Rolodex?
No, not a Rolodex, like a day planner sort of thing. That's what it looks like visually. And he tears out a paper, and of course that just transfers over to you digitally. You got like an address card. Yeah, that was a business he used to run, both legally and illegally. I mean, he retired out of the biz years ago. He lived downtown here, not very far actually. Yeah, it was messy. He didn't have any family, but the break-in people killed his pets. I mean, literally nailed them to the wall, and what they did to this guy, it was bad. Yeah, I think the newspaper report's in there as well. Police report.
Okay.
It's all in there. I mean, you paid me pretty good for, I mean, hey, we've been talking 10 minutes. Is that it? We good?
Yeah, heard any decent albums lately?
Oh, I like the classics. I enjoy this bar, for instance. And in the background, you hear, "You must remember this."
Okay, so that sort of music people like. Okay.
We're under a time pressure, Kaylee. Kaylee, how do I check out? I don't know how to exit this program.
Literally,
thank you
Kaylee
very much for your time. I have to go because there's an idiot trying to scream at me. So enjoy your time.
When you hot seat like this, the person that you're riding literally can hold you captive there. Like you have no way of jacking out unless they let you out.
Mistakes have been made.
All right, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll leave the digital space and kind of faff around for like 2 or 3 minutes. Like, man, it's been so long since I've had somebody come with me on one of these little digital runs. I'll need a minute, and then I'll eventually let him go.
All right, so you've got a data dump on your deck, basically all the information on this guy. Yeah, Dr. Z is what he went by on the street. Dr. Zadalis. He was a credentialed doctor, worked a while in trauma wards, then some drug charges. He was stealing drugs from the hospital. They caught him. He lost his license, but he continued to do work for runners and thus supplied his drug connection. He got sober about 2 years ago. By that time, he'd run through all of his finances, basically living in the slums. Really not great place. Yeah, and you've got the police report. About a year ago, it was a break-in. They assumed like there was nothing left of value. The place had been tossed. He had been burned. Chemical burns, they think.
Of course.
Huh. That's an interesting thing, Mert. Yes, chemical burns. Yeah. Toxic burns almost.
Yeah. Well, it went down that it looked like the intruders just threw a bottle of acid on him. Is what the police report says. Yes, Jeff. It's absolutely coincidence. It means nothing.
Yeah, I will ping the best scout. No, the second best scout. I'm sorry.
How does the best scout have his own pan?
And he doesn't download megapixels on it. His is still working.
Are you kidding? The best scout has jacks. He plugs into the net.
Yes. Well, the next best scout I will send. Hey, do you happen to have any friendly police contacts? I forget whether or not they like you anymore.
Technically cleared of all charges.
Yeah.
Technically cleared.
Hey, there's a police file that like you to go and get. I'm sure you can bribe someone. I will send over the information that we have to him, so that way he could get us and see if.
It's got the name of the officer that investigated the case. Case was basically closed because they never caught the guy. They just put it down as basically a home invasion. It's gang related. They weren't expecting to catch the person, especially in the low rent neighborhood the guy lived in.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of American citizens commit suicide every year by shooting themselves 37 times in the chest.
Absolutely.
That absolutely, or whatever.
Why did he pour acid on himself first? Oh man, the guy was crazy.
Yep. So Scout, this isn't your home. Like you guys have moved around some. So your precinct isn't here, so you wouldn't know the officer's name, but you still know how the system works.
Let's be honest. The fact that it's not my precinct means that they would be more favorable to me.
This is true.
So yeah, I'll give him a call. Old-fashioned call. See what's up.
Yep. The officer's still there. He's made detective now. He was beat cop at the time.
Yeah.
So you're connected to you're connected to oh, did we lose Scout? No, there he is. Detective
Sorry.
Rizzo.
Yeah. I just was curious if there were any details you could give me about this case. Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Scout. I was a cop myself, over on the West Coast. I may not have made it to detective, but I was close, if you know what I mean. And I was just curious if you could give me some details on this case. Like the acid and then all right.
Yeah, I think Scout's his real name.
Yeah, like I always thought it was like his nickname. Like that's your real name.
No. Scout his real name is Kenneth Clark.
Okay,
yeah.
I passed the ego roll.
All right, yeah. I need to see the number. So 162. So that's 3. So what you doing leg work for a corp or something? Hey, my standard is 100 new yens. I'll talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was a cop myself. I didn't realize that. I never took money when I was a cop.
Well, then
I
as a cop yourself, you would know that off the books, I'm glad to discuss a case that's been closed.
Oh, great.
But
So then
my
let's do
time
that.
isn't free. I mean, I didn't serve
Oh.
with you.
Well, no, but like there's some fraternity, the bonds of the people who put themselves in danger together.
Scout,
we depend on each.
Hey, if you want to be best buds for the next half hour, it's going to cost you 100 creds. Let's consider you buying me several beers.
Okay, just give me 1 second, and I will put Gantu on conference call and tell him that I'm out of money and I need 100 creds.
Yeah, I can. What's this for again? Sorry.
No. So I'm talking to the police, here, and we're just getting some details on a case. And he said he's happy to help us, but he needs a consulting fee.
You see, can he hear me right now?
Yeah.
I don't think he can.
I can hear you. Yes.
Hey, detective. How you doing? What's the going rate around here for?
Well, your friend Scout has offered to buy me 100 cred worth of beer to discuss an old case that's been closed.
Okay, yeah, we can take care of that. That's not a problem. I can send it over to you right now.
Perfect. Gantu, I'm just gonna hang up on you here, and
I think I'm gonna stay on the line.
The police.
Sorry.
Let me call him back.
Okay, dear God,
So yeah, the creds. The creds are deposited in my account. But why am I getting all these ads for?
That's Gantu. He's got
that's-
this
wait,
weird.
wait,
phone. Every time you call him,
Yeah. Okay, all right. We're kind of on a time crunch here, detective. If you can, cut
Yeah, the
chase
lowdown,
bit.
everything. If you've got the report there, everything is pretty on the up and up. I do remember my own case notes on it, and he brings them up. He actually just shoots them over to you. Yeah, I mean, as far as we can tell, he went down as a break beanie, just there to get some cash. They assumed that the retired doc, was just surprised, middle of the night, old guy, probably was asleep, and he interrupted the criminals. That's what's the official documentation. So in my notes, I don't think so. This was a grudge. What they did to this poor guy's, I mean, I don't know anybody. Do you know people that keep rabbits as pets? This guy had several rabbits as pets. All right. There's rat shit everywhere. But they were just kind of like stuck to the walls with like a nail gun. Like the guy used a nail gun to just pop his rabbits right under the wall. And it was a grudge. This guy had pissed somebody off enough he didn't die fast.
Were you able to do any
chemical
legwork
burns is
into
what
who-
killed him. But they started
Any-
slow. They started at the feet and worked their way up. The guy died somewhere in there, but it probably took him hours to die.
Any legwork done into like who his enemies were, that kind of thing?
He had a lot. And the guy was a drug addict for a long time. He was a legitimate doctor for a while there, but drugs got to him. He worked these folks that can't go to legitimate health care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear
yeah.
you,
So
detective.
It's
he
expensive.
could have made a lot of enemies by not patching somebody up quite. I mean, there's only so much you can do to save a leg. Maybe somebody just resented the fact that the guy couldn't save a leg or an eye or an arm. Who knows? But it was
Yeah.
definitely a grudge.
Yeah, but if
You
it
got
was
any-
just a single guy, it doesn't seem like they'd be nailing rabbits to the wall. It feels professional, don't it? Are there any signs that it seemed like
How many professionals do you know of that nail pets to the wall with nail guns?
7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that how you
it
roll?
seems like Ivan would.
Oh, I don't. No, not at all. I am an entrepreneur. Hey, so I think Gantu would know this at this point if he's been like brought into this. It's like we heard he might have done some work for runners. Was that something that kind of turned up in the investigation?
Yeah, it was definitely those people I was talking about that can't seek normal avenues for healthcare. Yeah, runners. I mean, that's going to be his biggest clientele. Some mob folks too, I'm sure. But it definitely wasn't mob related. No, it was not mob related.
Oh yeah, this ain't that. This ain't
The
that
bodies
style, no.
typically are never found with that sort of thing. Now this was a
Right,
grudge.
of
It was
course.
pure and simple. It was a grudge.
You got any leads as to what crews you might have been working with or anything, Shadowrunners?
we got his files. We also there was some genetic material that was harvested from the scene that's been just kept in the evidence lockers. I mean, it was, they just put it down as a B&E. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's all down at the police. This is old enough now. If you want to show up at the police station and require the evidence storage for, I don't know, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're a student, maybe you're a loved one asking for what's left of the doctor. Hey,
No. I'm just interested
closed.
in the case.
It's not due to be burned for another year or two, so it's still in cold storage. That stuff's all there.
Okay, yeah, that's something to consider. I'm not a loved one though. I have someone that I got my eyes on. Anyways,
was it Mr. Gunn
I would love to be able to come check out the.
Hey, he's my assistant, and I'll be looking for another. Go ahead, Scout. What were you saying? Go ahead and get that.
I was just saying I'd love
ridiculous
to be able to
question
see some of the hard evidence. That's all.
Right.
Well, like I said, case is closed. It's in cold storage. You give them a good enough reason to be wanting to look at it, and they'll do it.
I think we can go ahead and take care of that. Anything else you can think of? Anything that might not be written down? Anything that might not be in those files?
It was passingly odd, actually, to me that there, like I said, there was some genetic evidence recovered at the scene, but they never got one of the officer mages to. Well, no, they never did it.
Oh,
they never had a mage to track it or anything. So they just. I guess it's because the guy. I mean, really, he was a month away from living on the streets. He was a nobody. They weren't going to they're not going to waste the resources of a police mage to do forensics on. Yeah,
you guys got enough to handle. You can't, something like this is beneath them. Priorities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a double homicide that day, if I remember right. Yeah, I got the coin flip, so I didn't have to go to that one.
Oh, okay. Double homicide. What was that about?
It's domestic.
Oh, that's a shame. That's heartbreaking. Isn't that a shame, Scout? That's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, my wife and we had some problems ourselves, but she
Scout.
might raise fists, but I would never raise fists.
Hey, wait
back.
a minute. That name's really familiar. Weren't you on the news just a couple of years ago? Cop?
Yeah, they thought he killed
Killer cop?
Yeah,
I was fully exonerated. I was cleared of all charges.
You're a celebrity.
I really should change my name.
No, man. We talking about you're a celebrity. Truth be told, you should write a book.
Well, fellas, I just drank my last beer, so I'm gonna be on my way. Like I said, he drops the digital address for the precinct. They'll clear it if you got a good enough excuse to get a hold of the evidence. I mean, it's a closed file.
That sounds great. Hey, you've been a great help, detective. If you ever in the and I'll give them the neighborhood where my bowling alley is, and you ever around Rock and Bowl over in this neighborhood, you come on in, you say Gant 2 cents, we'll get you a free couple frames and a few pitchers of very nice IPA beer. IPA.
Yeah,
go there.
It's a great place. It's
I've got a bunch of buds to go there.
It's a little dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Dirty, huh?
Well, it ain't dirty. No, it's very clean. Actually, it's extraordinarily clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
It's cleaner than the bowling alleys, but not in the top half.
Yeah. Oh, shame to hear that. Cheers, folks.
Okay. Well, hey, Ivan.
It's taking another hour.
Yeah.
Hey, Ivan, if we got you a hold of some genetic material of a suspect that may or may not have been this Riv fellow we're tracking, you think you can track it? They were saying something about like police mages can do that thing. Is that something you can do?
I can give it a go.
All right. Well,
system-wise, you can, Chuck, because you've got a variable power pool that you can just come up with powers as you need, as long as it fits within that point structure.
Yeah, should be no problem.
Well, we got time. Why don't we go get that stuff from the precinct so you can start tracking stuff? We'll send over what we just learned to Kaylee and to Masu and kind of go from there.
All right. Let's go to the police and steal the thing.
Said that your bowling place was not clean. Does he not realize
Masu's your cleaner right now?
how much work I put in to making your place shine?
I
You
feel
do
like
you do
you
a
don't put
fabulous
any
job.
elbow grease into it. Like you're
Okay.
just doing a top level clean. You got to really get in those corners.
See, the problem is you spit shine so much of it at our insistence that now likely it's all infected with Agent 19.
It smells like spit.
Hmm.
Yeah. I feel attacked.
Well, you
Not
should have
so
smelled what it was when I first bought it. It smelled a lot worse than spit, but it rhymed with spit. So hey, what you know?
All right. So
Masu, what I need from you is very important. You see these servers that I have here next to my computer?
yes.
I need you to take those servers and my computer up to that stealth chopper that we stole, that I'm borrowing. Not that I'm planning to flee the city, but I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea.
Absolutely. I'll
All
do it
right,
right now.
By all means, leave.
we're down to the last 15 minutes of the session, so let's just shortcut a few things. Who's got what's your story? Precinct is nearby. They're 24 hours open. What's your story to get a hold of the evidence?
Well, Ivan is extraordinarily educated, so I think Ivan might be writing a book on this. That's my idea.
Well, I feel like we should just be honest with them. Tell them like what's going on, and that we
is
could
the
use the
worst
evidence. It might
idea.
apply to the current case.
That's not a good idea.
Honesty
not-
solves everything.
Honesty solves nothing. Listen, I will go and I will tell them that I am researching a book on the differences between American crime investigation and Russian crime investigation.
Ooh,
But then,
I like it.
what if they ask for like, have you written other books? Things like that. Like, what if they want like a resume or references? Let's just be honest. We don't want to
Show
get
them
caught.
my
in a lie.
goddamn thesis. It is
Ooh.
not the problem.
You can name drop. You have a certain runner that works with you that's got a book out that's a very popular book right now.
That's
I
right.
tell them I was the
Techno.
ghostwriter for it.
Well, no, you're probably in the credits, honestly.
Yeah,
So-
there you go.
I tell you what, I will give you a bonus for that. So what this is going to be is an ego roll. Do you have any skills that make you charming, persuasive? I'll give you a bonus because you actually are educated, so you do know what the prepper forms are, processes are. So I'll give you a little bit of a head up for that. What is your ego score?
13.
It's a 13. Okay. I will. Do you have any skills that
No.
make you particularly persuasive? Okay, I'll give you a +3 bump. That'll make it a 16.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
At the 12. That is a pass without the bonus.
All right. Now let me see what you rolled. 2, 6, 4. So 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I was looking for 3 bodies. So that does it. Yeah. I mean, they look at you. You give them what credentials you want to give them, enough that it passes basic sniff test. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. I didn't know that the Russians still. Yeah, whatever. All right, here's a claim chip. Just go down, pick it up your box. 24 hours, all right. You need more?
24 hours should be fine.
Okay, 24-hour pass. Here you go. Sign here. Lean over, retina scan. All right. So you get your box.
I have a box.
Yep. It's a 3x5 box, about 4 inches deep. There's not a lot in there. So his personal items of note that were there at the crime scene. You basically got his personal assistant device, which is long since defunct because no one kept it charged. It's leaking battery juices everywhere.
Yeah.
More importantly, though, going through the evidence bags and again, it's a closed case as far as they're concerned, so it no longer has the tape on it. So you can scavenge through it. You find the evidence bag that's got an unknown genetic sample. It says.
Okay. So this is ours. We can take it out of the place, or it has to.
Yeah, just bring it back 24 hours. Get what you need.
All right. Let's at least get in the van or something like this. That way I can be somewhere somewhat safe while I do this.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you notice the sample is still, no one has breached the seal on it. It's still there. People did say that going through looking at the log, they did at least check to see if it belonged to the doctor. It doesn't. That's why it's unknown genetic sample that was found in his house. So there you go. Unknown genetic sample.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to make a tracking spell offhand for this sort of thing,
Sure.
how many points do you have in your variable power pool?
60.
60. Okay, let's make this fast and easy then. So 6, 12. Okay, so let's say you just reassign your whole pool. Roll 66.
Sure.
Just doing just a fast and easy. So what we're looking for is the number of sixes. Sixes count for 2 points. Ones count for nothing. Everything else counts for 1 point. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points. Okay, I was looking for 5. You have a tracking spell. You don't know what this genetic material is attached to. I would have bought the spell with range. So you basically, it's just a simple compass. It's pointing to whatever the sample came from.
All right. I'll go ride shotgun and have the thing going. And
System-wise, Chuck, because you got to keep the spell going, I just assigned basically all your points into the spell. So until you reset your pool and lose the spell, this is the only spell you can cast.
Okay.
Because it's maximum effective value. But it's got a range of several miles. So it's in range.
Hey, look, it is going. Let us go.
Well, can you pick us up?
Yeah,
No.
we should probably get the other two on board here.
Yeah,
We don't know how violent this could get.
Kaylee's thinking about fleeing the city, but I'm still,
I mean, it might be better
She's
if we
the
keep
only
Kaylee out of danger. Maybe she just stays at the bowling alley, and she's hacked in. She can contact us. She can communicate,
Scout.
but she's
stays
not
at
on the
Choppa.
front lines.
Okay, Scout, I'm your friend here. You just gotta stop being such a beta, my dog.
No. I'm just looking out for Kaylee. You
Scout,
got
you're
the
my
ghoulism.
dog.
It's a disease. I'm not saying that you're not capable. You're absolutely capable. You're more capable than most of us. I'm just
Scout.
saying that it might be better if you stay in the bowling alley.
Scout, you're the most likable American that I've run into, which doesn't say much for you, but it says a lot.
I never
about
had
your
anyone say that
presence.
to me before.
But my dog, it's okay. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of fish in the sea. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying we can let her decide. I'm throwing the option out there. We don't need to pressure her into coming with. Kaylee, what do you think?
I'll pick up Ivan and Gantu and maybe Scout in the stealth chopper, and we can fly out to wherever that tracking thing you have is happening.
I have an idea
As
that
long
Kaylee's
as it's
just
your decision, Kaylee.
sitting there listening to the talk as she's eating like the fingers off of a hand she had in cold storage.
Absolutely. A spare bone that I brought back from the massacre a while back.
All right. So you're going to get in the chopper. Actually, tracking by air is not a bad idea. Want to all get in the chopper?
Okay.
Yeah,
Who can actually fly the chopper?
No one, I
Gantu.
think.
Gantu will give it a go.
Oh,
No.
I feel
Hell
better
yeah.
about this now.
So
Gantu is the only one here who's ever actually flown, if you all recall.
It was glorious. Hang
The
gliding
helicopter
through
business.
the air.
all right. So I'm not going to require a roll just for you to get in the chopper, but if anything happens, we'll just assume Gantu is behind the lever of the chopper. He's the one piloting right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes to drive.
Ivan, you're holding this bit of material in your hand, which is levitating in your palm, and it's kind of turning this way and that. You're in the sky. You do kind of like a tight circle around. Your chopper is certainly not a registered chopper, but it has some very interesting tech on board that essentially makes it a black ops chopper. So it's not being picked up by most of the aviation checking programs. Occasionally you see some people flying drones checking you out. You're probably being shown on a video on some channel right now about stealth choppers. Who knows? But do this tight circle around the city. And it keeps pointing you towards like the sanitation department, like where all the refuse of the city kind of comes in and they clean it out and clean water is dumped out on the other end. It's an old system. It's still in use. City's been trying to get money to make the process cleaner and less crap in your water, literal. But no, nobody wants to put money into that. So it's still running. It's still producing standard levels of cleanliness in the water. But you just keep looking, and your tracking spell keeps pointing to that building, that old squat concrete factory down there that's cleaning out the city's sewage.
Yeah, I'll guide us, Jantu, where we need to go.
It's like a factory squat brick structure. So like the roof is actually perfectly landable. But there is a parking lot too. There's a few cars in the parking lot, not many. You see a few lights on in the building, not many.
I would vote parking lot just in case we have to blow up the building.
We're not going to blow up the building.
Speak for yourself.
Let's not jump to conclusions. Everything's on the table. No idea is a bad idea.
But like this building is someone's property. Can you imagine how much it would hurt them to like if their building just collapsed or caught on fire? That would ruin lives.
But Scout, what if they were evil and they deserved to have their building collapse?
Evil is such like an esoteric concept. That's really just a way for people to justify their own evil actions.
I mean, we can look at Kaylee and use her as the prime example.
Kaylee is a great example of a good person doing good things.
Oh. There goes the rest of the hand.
Just hear the crunch like it's a carrot.
Right.
I really
spitting out someone else's fingernail.
So you land, a decent amount away from the few cars that are in the parking lot. There's a couple of cars in the staff parking lot. There's one towards the back area, like where there's kind of like a dock, and it's an old, it's almost ancient. It's a flatbed sort of truck. You can see that it used to have like company name on the side, but it's been kind of scratched off and painted over. Really old flatbed sort of truck. And you see that there's a couple of like large 50-gallon drums in the back.
But
well, that's curious.
Yes, that is. Well, do we investigate the drums first or go straight for the prize in the building?
Is there any way for us to actually identify the substance? Do we have that capability? Going to ask to the brainiacs of the group.
Yeah, we could open it up and look inside, I suppose.
That's my concern.
You can expose yourself to it and see if anybody suffers the same symptoms that Scout is suffering from.
That right there. Why don't we disable
I'll just slap
the
some more of these patches on me.
I say we disable the truck and we get up in there and we try to find the fellow who's behind all this.
He is a terrorist. It could be rigged to explode.
I mean,
I could just blow it up.
That's like disable it in a way that would be like easy to repair. Like it's disabled for tonight, but it's not going to set like if they're not involved, it won't be like a normal civilian like losing a week's wages trying to fix it.
Wait. Now I realize I am intelligent from a business perspective and a martial perspective, and that maybe sciences are not my forte, but incineration, would that?
No, that's a terrible idea.
What if they don't have insurance? Then they're going to lose their job because they can't get to work in the morning. They're going to lose their house because they lost their job. Suddenly they're homeless.
I'm being very positive about what's going to happen if you release a plume of this stuff that rains down on everyone.
Well,
I'm
do we
positive
know?
about what's going to happen, and I will be.
I don't know. I
It's-
think incineration of chemical material could actually be a good way of disposing of it. Like, how else are they going to dispose of it? You don't freaking flush it down the toilet. They
Well,
incinerate the
t-
damn thing.
No.
Well,
Don't
we just come right
incinerate.
back here with
Ivan, blow that fucking thing up.
Yeah, while they're arguing, Bert, can I take some time to rearrange my pool back to what it
You're
was?
don't
So
lose.
you drop the tracking spell.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just spinning right now anyway. So you've reached the target. Like whatever this is attached to is here in this building.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and up my fireball a little bit in place of it
Okay.
at expense of my invisibility
You
spell, because
bastard.
we're not going to need to go invisible. We're about to get real loud. I'll go ahead and just completely remove my invisibility and take my fireball up to 8d6.
Okay.
And then I nuke.
You're just gonna
The
nuke the truck. Okay. All right. I assume from a distance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll. Just the damage dice. You don't have to roll to see if your spell goes off or anything. Just roll the damage dice.
Ooh, not great.
All right, so it's body that counts. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Whatever was on there was not explosive, so there's not like a big bang. And there must not have been
No
a lot
fuel
of
cells or
fuel.
anything like that.
There must not have been a lot of fuel left in the truck either, because it does burn. It absolutely burns, and the pressure does pop the tops off those 50-gallon drums, and there's like a spew of fluid, but it quickly is just evaporated in the fire. So you've got a burning truck. There
just
was
in
no
case.
huge explosion. I mean, there was like the pops of those lids as they superheated. So it made a little bit of noise, but it wasn't a huge explosion. But the truck is burning.
I'm going to go ahead and
Chemicals are
launch
burning.
another one at it just in
Just
case.
to make sure. Okay.
Yes.
One was enough.
No, you double
No.
tap.
Well, now there's
Exactly.
a big bonfire in the parking lot. No big explosion, but a big bonfire in the parking lot. And we're at time. So, yeah. Maybe it was aerosolized, as Jameis is saying in chat. Maybe not. Sometimes burning is the way to go.
Oh yeah.
You know,
No.
somebody could have called the doctor that was making the vaccine for you and asked, but no, that didn't happen.
No time for that.
We
We're
just
men
blew
of
it up.
action. We're
Yeah,
men of action, not of.
there we go.
It hasn't steered
Not
us
of
wrong yet.
intelligence.
You know what I would like to say? Normally I say a good plan is better than a perfect plan. Action now is better than action never. Comma, you're proving me wrong every session. I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Let's do sign-offs. Chuck, you're going to be gone for most of this week. Why don't you tell us what's going on with you?
Yeah, no DOK streams this week because I'll be at Gen Con.
Oh, I do
With-
not have your guys' links, but feel free to drop a link in the
Yeah.
Twitch stream. That's
But yeah, Gen Con, Grim and Perilous Studios, because I have an adventure that's going to be releasing on Drive-Thru RPG through them here in a couple of days. Called
It's
The
an
Kids Aren't
amazing
All Right.
adventure.
It's a lot of fun.
So
Bert's played it.
who are you on Drive-Thru RPG, and what's the name of the adventure?
So it's not up for sale yet, but find it under Grim and Perilous Studios. And the adventure is called The Kids Aren't All Right.
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. Orphans may or may not have died in it. It was a lot of fun.
They did.
So you're no streams for you this whole
None.
week. Are you streaming at Gen Con?
No.
I know some people do that. No, not streaming live from Gen Con. All right, fair enough.
Nope.
Jeff, what are the lollygaggers up to?
Yeah, we got one game this week. That's tomorrow, as we'll be over at twitch.tv/the lollygaggers. We'll be playing Holler for Savage Worlds. You can see Chuck, you can see Bert in that game. But we are also off for the next week. So that'll be our last stream until late next week. But yeah, come hang out tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Well, our player of the second best scout, you're done with your haunted house game.
Yes, but you can see the complete saga on YouTube/Defenders of Kobold. And actually, I was about to ask Chuck, we might need a sequel saga coming up, but that's to be decided. But you can catch up. If we're gonna do a sequel, you need to watch the whole thing. So go watch all 8 episodes on Defenders of Kobold.
I would have the only returning character.
Yeah, you would. Everyone else died. Died horribly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
believe,
I still remember how I died. Wait, that was not my voice. What was my voice? I remember. I still remember.
Yeah, you didn't
Ashley
even get a
killed
last
me.
breath.
Uh-huh.
Ashley
really
killed
did.
me. That's what I remember.
And even
Baseball slide
even
into a
Chuck's
hole.
character was alive, but wasn't doing well.
That's the way Chuck's character ended is how I wanted Wayne's story to end. So I'm very jealous.
So check that out on YouTube.
If Ashley
so you
hadn't
know what
killed
they're
you.
talking about, and you too can enjoy in the Inside Baseball. It's right now being talked about. Jake and Nick, I believe you two are internet black holes that
Yep.
yeah, that don't produce nice things for our folks to.
Nope, I produce nothing.
There we go. There you go.
Ma.
Carbon dioxide coming out of you. Good. So if you found us, you know where we are. Twitch.tv/Seam, Steal, and Murder. If you go to Blue Magic, BLUMAGIK.com, you'll find 13 years and several months worth of audio goodness there. And all the links to our social media places are there as well. So you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Twitch. You can check out the podcast. Join our Discord channel. But folks, thank you guys very much for playing. We will probably wrap up this story arc the next session. And those of you that are with us watching tonight, Jameis, thank you for throwing some problems their way. Just of you out there watching, have a good night, folks.
Goodbye.
Bye, Jameis. I miss you.